In this video, we're going to learn how to graph two-step compound inequalities. If you don't remember what two-step inequalities are, or compound inequalities, please watch those videos first. So this inequality might look confusing at first, but let's just take each part one at a time. First, we're going to try and get the x by itself on one side. In order to do this for the left-hand side, we're just going to subtract 2 from each side. And we'll end up with x is less than negative 3. We keep the and we do the right-hand side. This time we have x times 2. The opposite of times 2 is divided by 2. So if we divide both sides by 2, we'll get x is greater than negative 5. Now those are inequalities that we can graph on a number line. I know I'm going to need negative 3 and negative 5, so I'm going to put those down first. So now we can graph each one individually. X is less than negative 3. There's no equal sign, so we know that this one is going to have an open circle. And that looks like the left-hand arrow over here. So we're going to draw a line this way. On the other side, we have x is greater than negative 5. Again, there's no equal sign. So at negative 5, we're going to have an open circle. And the greater than points to the right, so our line is going to go off to the right. The word and means that we're going to have to find where these two lines overlap each other. Only the points where they both cover our number line are we going to draw them. So we have an open circle at minus 5, an open circle at minus 3, and the points that they overlap are right in the middle here. That's where both lines overlap. And that is how we graph two-step compound inequalities. Here we have another example of a compound two-step inequality. On the left-hand side, we don't have x by itself. To get x by itself, we're going to need to add 2 to each side. This will result in x is greater than 2. We'll keep that or, and on the right-hand side, we want to put this x on the other side. In order to flip it around, we have x is less than negative 1. We have to remember to keep the pointy end of this pointing towards the x so that the meaning stays the same. When we switch the variable and the number around, we also have to switch the sign around. Next, I create a number line, and I know I'm going to need positive 2 and negative 1. I'll fill in some more numbers so that everything is clear. On the left-hand side, I have x is greater than 2. There's no equals sign there, so I'm going to use an empty circle, and I'm going to keep the arrow to the right. That green inequality there is x is less than negative 1. So I'm going to have a circle at negative 1, and the direction of the arrow is to the left. It matches that sign. When I'm doing an or compound inequality, that means that these are going to look like ors. Or another way to think about it is anything that matches either one of these is going to be true. So all I have to do is circle the 2, fill in the arrow just like I did above, circle the negative 1, and fill in the arrow the other way. Now anything that matches these red arrows and circles will make that compound inequality true.